Yo, bros. Today we got a question from my bro, Nate, 6535. He wants to know, yo, Elliot, I've been through a lot lately, and my patience is growing very thin. He says I get angry and easily upset, and I explode at my wife for the smallest things. He also says when he's driving home from work, sometimes he finds himself crying and wants to know what's up, bro. So the very first thing I'd have you know is that your feelings are completely objective. What do I mean by that? A lot of times we take our feelings personally, but a feeling has absolutely no meaning until we give it one. And so when a lot of times we consider our feelings, we begin thinking about what they mean, and then we attach some sort of idea to it. But if you just allow your feelings to be feelings, you can allow them to process without getting engaged. So when you say that you feel, angry and you snap and you blow up at your wife, I invite you to do this instead. Feel the feeling that you're feeling in your body, but don't do anything about it, because anything that you do is coming from a mental framework rather than being completely objective about what you're feeling in your body. And in order to be objective about what you're feeling in your body, you have to identify what you're actually feeling in your body, not the content of your mind. What does that mean? When you're upset, when you're angry, when your wife, does something small, check what you do physically first and observe. So you'll notice probably first your breathing stops. Oh, we got landscapers here. I'm at a hotel. I can't get away from noise. Except for one up at the ranch. All right, bro. But anyway, so you got to notice what you feel in your body. If you notice what you're feeling in your body, then you can be objective about what you do. But if you have a feeling in your body and you react, that means that the feeling controls you. And so coming back again to the objectiveness, the very first thing you're probably going to notice is how your breathing changes. If you notice that your breathing changes, your wife says something, the very first thing you'll probably notice is you might notice that your chest tightens, your belly tightens, your jaw tightens, your eyebrows furrow. You're going to notice some sort of change physically in your body. All those changes are designed in order to stifle your breath. This is what Alexander Lowen discovered, that every neurotic physical holding pattern that we experience spontaneously to a perceived threat is designed to stifle the breath. So you'll notice your breathing changes, but then what made that change happen? And it's going to be something physical. Guaranteed 100% you're doing something unconsciously with your body that's causing your breath to be stifled. And you know what? Have you ever been underwater? Somebody's when you were a kid, I do this to my kids sometimes. Maybe I'm traumatizing them. Hold them underwater, or you can't catch your breath and then you freak out, you start going crazy like that. That's basically because your breathing is stifled and you freak the fuck out. And that freak out doesn't have to be actual anger. It doesn't have to be actual frustration. It doesn't have to be actual sadness. It doesn't have to be actual depression, but it's a physical reaction to a threat. I can't breathe. And so, I know it sounds crazy, but when your wife is freaking you out, or when your wife is saying something and you're freaking out, it's because you're not breathing into your balls. You're not breathing, so you're freaking out the same way someone who can't breathe underwater starts freaking out. Bah! You freak out. It's a lot more subtle, it's a lot more insidious, but it's very, very physical. So don't try to solve the problem at the level at which it's created. The problem is not the feeling. The problem is that you attach some sort of, you identify with the feeling and you attach some sort of meaning to it, right? It must be her. She's pissing me off. No, you're reacting to the fact that you can't breathe right now because you have a spontaneous initial reaction to something that she said that could be based on some past trauma. It could be old stuff, but it really doesn't matter. Old stuff only becomes new stuff when you react to it. When you react to new things based on the old way of responding, the old way of reacting. But you can stop it. Stephen Covey says that there's a space between stimulus and response, and in that space we create our lives. Well, the stimulus is what your wife said. Your response and how you acted towards her could be mitigated within that space. by noticing how your body responds to it. What happens inside your body? You got to go to your body. You got to pay attention to your body. So body and breathing is everything, brother. And I think that's about it. These guys are making much more noise here. So that's it. That's all. Hey, I would invite you to do this. Oh man, this is important. In order to break up that neurotic holding pattern or that reaction, that normative reaction that you have when you're stimulated in that particular way, you got to do the bow. You got to do bioenergetics. Go back to my channel. I'll make a new video about this sometime soon. Go back on my channel and look at videos about Elliot breathing into his balls. And you're going to see me doing something that looks like this. And you see how I'm shaking and I'm vibrating because I have neurotic holding patterns too. But by bowing back like this and opening your mouth when you breathe, you put a stretch in all your extra respiratory muscles that allow them to, like whenever you stretch a muscle, to begin to relax and release. And therefore they don't grip up and control you in such in such an unconscious and reactive way. So you have to practice breathing under stress. That's basically what I'm saying. You got to practice breathing under stress. And the way you do that is putting your body into a stressful situation and breathe. That's why cold showers are one of those things that will help you in your reactive state, because you want to freak out when you're under that cold water, right? I saw a video of this kid. He went into ice bath, and it was like him and his dad, and the dad had to keep telling him, calm down, relax, relax. The kid's like, acting like a little girl. But the dad was like, his super conscious. His dad was like, it's okay. You're all right. Calm down. And you know what he started to do? Next thing you know, he's fine. But it's when you freak out and you can't breathe. So the ice baths, the bow, this is why things like yoga help people with stress, right? And so, there's a lot of opinions about yoga. I don't do it anymore, but I understand how it physically helps people who are under stress, because you put yourself into a stressful position by tying yourself into a pretzel when you do yoga, and then you're forced to breathe. Now, it's like, that's really uncomfortable, holding that stretch. Breathe now and hold it as long as you can. When you practice that over time, you now are creating space between the bad feeling of being under stress and your ability to relax and breathe through it, right? And the bow is kind of like a kind of yoga, except it's not. It's just a stretch and a breathe, bro. And so I would say practice those things. I do it every morning. I will share a video, with my morning routine with you guys one of these days. Every morning, Uncle Yo's doing the bow, and I'm breathing into my balls. And what does that do? It keeps me more relaxed and in control. And therefore, things that would freak me out normally, they just don't, dude. That's it. That's all done.